Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Wanted to share a recent Snap-on Tools tool haul with you guys. Got these all from a yard sale. It was a mechanic that had retired and was getting rid of his stuff, and there was a lot to choose from. Start with the Snap-on 100th year anniversary commemorative or limited edition ratchet that they made. I'd never seen this before. It's pretty cool in my opinion. It's based on a number 7 ratchet, which was originally made in the 1920s. As you can see there, the little insert about the 100th anniversary. And like I said, this is a replica of a number 7 ratchet from the 1920s. At that point in time, they didn't have, this ratchet at least, didn't have a reversing mechanism, so it came with a plug. And the idea was, if you needed to go the other direction, you'd flip the plug over. And I believe I read this is a 15-tooth ratchet. And, you know, it's got the normal mechanism on there. You could open it up and, I guess, service it, re-lubricate it if you wanted to. Got Milwaukee, USA, nice and big on there. I mean, I can't imagine too many folks are using these. You know, they were sold as collectibles. I mean, you can see the nice case it came with. But pretty cool tool to commemorate the 100th anniversary for Snap-on. So like I said, I'd never seen one of these before, but had to pick it up. It was quite cool. So I think that's the only tool in this lot that hasn't been used. I think, as you can tell, some of these have been used pretty good, but we'll look through them. We can clean them up. So as you see on the box here, limited edition 100th anniversary number 7 ratchet by Snap-on. The part number, if you want to try to find one, is SSX19P262. All right, so the next tool I ended up grabbing was this pair of long reach pliers, 908 CP with the green handles. You know, I don't buy a ton of Snap-on, so, you know, it's not like Craftsman where I generally have a really good idea of what things go for as I pick them up. But I grabbed these because I actually need a pliers of kind of this size and length. And, you know, usually anything with a neon handle seems to be desirable these days. But like I said, I actually need a pair like this. I'm going to keep them. But apparently the green is fairly rare based on what I could find. I don't think they make this style or color anymore based on my real quick search of the Snap-on website. The other nice thing about these handles is I find in general they clean up real easy with just a little bit of work. So my go-to lately has been these Miracle brand heavy-duty cleaning wipes. You can get some at Lowe's. I found them real good to clean up pliers of any type. So, I mean, not, you know, these aren't terrible by any means, but you can see with these Miracle wipes, I mean, they look, within a few minutes, they look brand new, basically. So, I mean, I know not everybody kind of gets turned off if they're trying to buy tools and they might look a little, you know, well used or, you know, dirty, but most of the time you can clean them up really quick and easy. And I mean, geez, these almost look, the handles at least almost look brand new. So, I mean, if we look at that now, looks like there's a little divot there that's not grease or anything, so I can't do anything about that. But I mean, they're not torn or anything. They look pretty dang good now. Of course, I'll take a brass brush and clean up the jaws a little bit. Maybe a brass wheel on the back here. There's a little bit of surface rust or staining on the finish. But yeah, really happy to find these. So the other thing that caught my eye right away was the flare nut wrenches. Again, I actually need these. I need a nice set of metric flare nut wrenches for my own personal collection. So grab these. I believe I got a full set here, 6 pieces, 9 to 21. They skipped the 20, and let's see, did they skip any others? 15, 16, 18, 17. They skipped the, nope. So 9 to 21, they skipped the 20. This is a 6-piece set. Again, you know, they're a little dirty, but a little bit of work, and these will shine up again. I usually like to use a brass brush and some simple green or a brass wire wheel, and these will clean up real nice. And I found, you know, that's not going to damage the chrome. You know, of course, it's already fairly cloudy, right? It's not pretty polished like it used to be when it was first purchased. But like I said, needed a set of flare nut wrenches. Found a full set of metric snap-on. Hard to beat that. The other, let's see what else caught my eye. So, this screwdriver set, I'll be honest with you, I saw the pink font on the handle. Again, usually when you think about collectability or, you know, what is harder to find, it's usually kind of these odd colors. So, I'll be honest, when I picked them up, I saw the pink font, and I know folks love this older style Instinct, the hard handle. So that's what drew me to these screwdrivers. When I got them home, I'm looking at them and I realized they're actually Pozidriv. So if you guys aren't familiar, I'll put a link to another video here about the difference between Pozidriv and Phillips. They're pretty similar, but there is a unique and important difference. So anyways, I realized this whole set is a Pozidriv set of screwdrivers. When I got it home and I set up, you know, and realized I had 5 and they're all Phillips, you know, that kind of made me think, oh, shoot, I don't have the whole set here. But, you know, as soon as I did some digging, looked up the part number, and then it was apparent, oh, it says Pozidriv right on there. So this must have been a 5-piece Pozidriv set. So you got number 4, number 3, just like Phillips, number 2, and number 1, and a stubby number 2. So, you know, these shanks need a little bit of cleaning, but nothing that I can't clean up and make look nice, and maybe not new, but certainly nothing that you would kind of look twice at if you're picking them up as a used tool. But clean out the head of this bit there with a pick probably, and you know, it's kind of like I said, when you're buying used tools, you got to know these little tips and tricks to get these things cleaned up and looking as good as they can. It's easy for folks to kind of want to pass over them if they don't look their best. As silly as that may sound when you're thinking about using them, right? It doesn't really matter how it looks when you're using it. But yeah, so this Pozidriv set, I can't find it on the Snap-on website at the moment. I see a 4-piece set with the newer Instinct style handles, but I can't find one with this older style handle, which I'm pretty sure they discontinued this. Again, Snap-on is not my forte by any means, but the 4-piece set that I found on the website doesn't include any stubby. So again, pretty happy with these. These will be up for sale. Like I said, I think they're pretty unique. Honestly, the Pozidriv, I don't know how many people really need that. So I was a little bummed that they weren't just regular Phillips, but at the same time, at least I got all 5, and it looks like they don't even make this stubby anymore. So happy with that. Grab these long-handled screwdrivers as well. Again, I'm more of a Craftsman guy. The Craftsman ones are very hard to find in this length. I mean, the longest one that Craftsman ever made was a 16-inch shank. I believe this was a 21-inch shank. I guess you'd call it 22. It's 21 3/4, so not sure what they would say the nominal size of the shank is, right? They're probably not going to list it as 21 3/4. This one is 21 right on the button. So, interestingly, these don't command as much of a premium as I thought. I mean, you know, I still got a deal on them, but you can see the part number there if you need a screwdriver of this size. This is a long Phillips, that's for sure. So yeah, happy I grabbed them, but not something that's super rare like with some of these other brands. But again, this will clean up no problem. This is a nice screwdriver. I'm going to sell both of these long-handled ones. So that leaves us with a couple of the other tools. A 1/4-inch drive universal impact socket set. I was pleased to know that this is a full set, all 6 pieces. Standard, of course. I don't know if you can necessarily see it on the camera, but this is, you can see the 7/16 there probably shows up the best on the camera. But like I said, not normally a Snap-on guy, so it's a little blind on, you know, hey, is this a complete set or what the deal is? But with other brands, 1/4-inch drive universal impacts are hard to find, so I figured it had to be the case. Looks like they go for a decent amount of change. And I grabbed a couple different 1/4-inch tools, a 1/4-inch breaker bar. So if you can see it there, this looks like a TM10F. So it's a 1/4-inch drive breaker bar. And then I grabbed 2 other. So I grabbed a fixed head 1/4-inch drive ratchet. Fortunately, I didn't notice till I got it home. There's a nice chip in the chrome there. Unfortunately, always seems like you miss something when you're looking at tools at a sale, whether it be something like that on something you bought or if you leave something behind in the drawer. You know, you never catch everything, it seems like, when you're out buying tools. And I did get this flex head version as well. So this is a TM711 1/4-inch drive flex head ratchet. And it's in good shape. Maybe the lever could be replaced. I can't tell if that's been broken off or if maybe that's just a little worn. Can't really tell. I'll have to look into that a bit. You can see a different style lever on the fixed head one. Based on the logo, it looks like this is a newer one. Whereas, yeah, with the underlined and just the kind of font type here, I know this is a bit older ratchet. Of course, with Snap-on, they did put a date code for the year on all of their tools. Sometimes you got to hunt for it a little bit. On the ratchets, it's usually up by the selector lever. So you can see, I mean, I'd probably have to take a picture of that and zoom way in to try to see exactly what that is. But that little symbol between off and on, this little symbol here between off and on, that should be the date code. So of course they got a whole date code chart. And, you know, that is a nice thing about Snap-on is with some other tool brands like Craftsman, you're talking about ranges of years when you're trying to date an older tool. You know, by process of elimination, you can usually cut it down to maybe a 5-year period, 10-year period, that type of thing. With Snap-on, you find any of these older tools, if you can find the date code and match it up to the chart, you got an exact, you know exactly what year it came from. And whether I'm just missing it or it wore off, I don't see a date code mark on this flex head ratchet. So if you see it, drop it in the comments. because I can't find it here on this flex head ratchet. I know sometimes they sneak it in, you know, on where they put the logo, but I'm just seeing, oh, maybe on the breaker bar. I think I see it on the breaker bar. It's kind of funny on these small 1/4-inch tools how they got to sneak it on there. But if this will focus, you'll see just this little mark right here is the date code. So anyways, got some 1/4-inch drive tools. Those will be up for sale, the impact sockets, ratchets. So that leaves us with the Saltus wrenches. Of course, Saltus, I believe, was an actual brand that made this style wrench. I believe they were the first to make it. So if you go on Snap-on's website, I believe they call them a swivel flex open end. I mean, makes sense if it's literally called a Saltus wrench because they were the first to make it. You know, I can't blame them for not wanting to call it that themselves. Kind of like how everyone calls channel locks, even though they're tongue and groove pliers, right? I guess the first to market is well remembered, you could say. So this was a nice set that I found. I got 7 pieces here. I got from 10. Got 10. The 10 millimeter wasn't missing this time, surprisingly. 10, 12, 13, 14, and these are a little cloudy. I'll have to, like I said, clean them up a little bit with a brass brush. But this is a nice set. I saw on the Snap-on website that they offer a 6-piece set and a 9-piece set. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. I think, so I got 18 on the high end. So I'm missing a 19 and I'm missing an 8 millimeter on the low end. So I don't see these much on eBay when I'm looking for, you know, there's a couple listings that are quite high and they look like they've been sitting there forever. So be interested to see what I get for them. Being, you know, a 7-piece set. Some of those sets I saw weren't complete. I think none of them had the 10 millimeter, go figure. So we'll see how these do on eBay. And yeah, like I said, pretty good set, 10 to 18, missing 8 in a 19, but overall happy with the finds here. You know, obviously these flare nut wrenches need a little bit of work, need to be cleaned up before I tuck them away in the toolbox, and same with these swivel flex open end, as Snap-on likes to call them, wrenches. Before I put them up for sale, you can see the sockets. I mean, these were definitely used. These are definitely used, so take a little bit of work scrubbing and cleaning them up, make them look their best. All right, guys, well, I think that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed a little bit different video today. Snap-on's not something I usually come across a lot, but picked up some interesting Snap-on tools here today. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.